What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another showdown edition of our Fantasy Sports Insight Breakdown here. We have a fun one. We have Baltimore and Kansas City, an over under of 55. It's going to be one of the best Monday night games we've had yet, and probably one of the best nationally televised games. So I'm super excited. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please do so. If you're a new subscriber, take a screenshot of that, send it to me, and we'll get you a free week of NFL content at Fantasy Sports Insight. Let's dive right into the game. The builds are going to be quite interesting. I'll start here on the odds page with Bovada. We have Kansas City as a plus 3.5 underdog to Baltimore. Over under 55, like I said. So I think both quarterbacks are going to be really popular. Let's move over to the build page. Lamar Jackson and Mahomes are just going to, grade out so high in their mean projection here. I think you're almost guaranteed 20 to 25 points from each one of them. Obviously, the prices are very restricting, but I do think in cash, you'd probably try to find a way to get both of them in. Saying that, let's talk about the rest of the options and talk a little bit about game script as well. So on the Kansas City side, obviously Kelsey has led the team in targets all season. Baltimore has been getting gashed by tight ends. So I think the price tag at 10,000 is actually right here, just for the amount of points we're going to see scored. And, I'd likely see Kelsey like 7 to 8 catches, 70, 80 yards and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill, I think, is a little bit more boom or bust for me. I know he's had Baltimore's number in the past. Baltimore did shut down Will Fuller and has done a better job with some of these deep threats this year. So Tyreek Hill is more GPP for me. Kelsey more cash, but Kelsey even is going to be a little bit difficult to get to in cash if you're using both quarterbacks, and especially if one of them is in your captain spot. Moving down, we have Hollywood Brown at 8,400. Not somebody I'm really intrigued at. Neither. Same with Andrews. Just the targets aren't there. I know Andrews can get the touchdowns, and Brown does have big playability, but I'd rather go down to Hilaire at 7,800. I think just his role is more carved out. I think Darrell Williams and Thompson are both going to be active for this game, but we do know that. Even against, I think, the Chargers, he had like a 30-yard catch called back. So I wouldn't take the last game against the Chargers as a big reason to stay away from Hilaire. So I do like CEH here. Ingram, the running backs for Baltimore at this price range, I'm not going to fall there a lot, I don't think. I prefer Ingram to Dobbins. Dobbins had some big play. He had 2 touchdowns the first week, had a long 44-yard run, I think, last week, but you're just getting limited touches. So I think, it depends on what you think the game script is. I think there's a better chance here that Casey is actually behind a little bit and they're having to throw, and that would give Ingram and Dobbins some more opportunities to run the ball. But I think in that case, then I prefer to go to someone like Sammy Watkins, who I know had a really good first week, was really poor last week. I think he didn't play the whole game with this concussion. So do check to see his status before tomorrow night. But I think if you fall in that range, if you can get to Ingram, I think he's obviously the safest. But I think I prefer, Watkins and Dobbins is probably a coin flip to me. Moving down, I like Snead at 4,400. I don't think his upside is immense, but I think if the game script goes the other way and Baltimore is down, he will be on the field more often. Just their packages, are really dependent on the game script. So if you're playing for a Baltimore behind losing type of game, then I really like Snead at 4,400. I think the kickers will be really popular here, Tucker and Butker, because I think have like a 10-point floor, and you go below that and you're not really going to find that floor. So I can see double kicker really being popular here, unless somebody are punting even cheaper, which I do really like. Boykin is my favorite player under the kickers, 3,400. He, is, even the 5 and 4 targets at that price tag is pretty nice volume. So again, I would prefer to get up to Bucker or Tucker, but I think Boykin is fine there. Same with Robinson, 3,000. He's fine for KC. Moving down here, Darrell Williams. I think I even read today they even took him off the injury report completely. So I don't know. With him and Thompson played a little bit against the Chargers too. I'm just not really sure. So I do still really like Hilaire, but I don't know that these guys are worth punting with Williams or Thompson. I just think you might get like 3 to 4 points max out of these guys, and if you can get up to the kickers or one of the kickers, you're looking at 10 to 15 points in this type of matchup with such high scoring. So if you just like even just a quick roster construction of if you used both quarterbacks and you used both kickers, even at that point, if you use somebody like one of the quarterbacks and captain, even if you try to shove in Hilaire, you'd have to end on somebody like Robinson, or if you use someone like Hilaire, or let's say you use like Kelsey at captain and Mahomes, that's gonna get you somewhere down here to even like. And Gus Edwards isn't awful. He had a lot more carries last week, actually 10 carries. So I think he could be a boomer bust play, and at 1,600, you could do worse. So I think those types of builds are going to be pretty popular. I think in cash at least, because I just don't think you can fade both quarterbacks in cash. But I think in GPP you can definitely make a case for just stacking like Mahomes and Kelsey and Hilaire, or stacking Jackson. Maybe using Kelsey and Hill like the passing options, but not using Mahomes. So it'll be interesting to see where the ownership lies, other than the two quarterbacks in cash, because I think that will, really dictate, how can somebody get a GPP takedown tomorrow night. I don't really expect a lot of chalk builds or like a 30-way split for the GPP winner. So hopefully this short video helps you start your research for one of the biggest Monday Night Football games of the year, and likely will be the most anticipated of the year. Make sure that you get over to our Fantasy Sports Insight Discord channel. Like I said, if you're a new subscriber, send me a screenshot and we will get you a free week of content. All right. Have a good one.